one of my friends actually said this. It's actually a mutual friend between us, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said basically first time, because we're all together, we're just chilling as like a group.
Yeah.
And then he said first time he got to Russia, his thoughts when he opened the window were, wow, this city is so beautiful. Wow, these lights are so beautiful.
Yeah.
But now when he opens the window, his first thought is, if I jump, will I die? you know, and everyone was like, dude, I thought I was the only one. And
It's the Soul Engineer back again with another podcast. It's another episode. It's another day. It's another Sunday. Well, for me, I only record on Sundays, so it's another Sunday. You might hear the podcast on a Monday or a Tuesday. And I'm back here with one of my friends, someone who's familiar to me, a familiar face to me. We banter about a lot of things. We cry over the same things, which is constantly school. And yeah, her name is Aisha. We came together in 2019. Tell us a bit about yourself.
hi guys. I'm honored to be on your podcast, by the way. It's an honor. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
My name is Aisha Sibanda Kemotswana. I'm living in Moscow, the central capital of
Moscow!
Russia. Yeah, I'm a student, of course, and yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
What are you studying? And if you want to share, where are you studying?
I'm studying business informatics
Mm-hmm.
at Financial University.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So yeah,
yeah,
not a
what?
lot of people know a lot about my course, but
Yeah.
basically it's a combination of computer programming, economics,
Ooh.
accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically it's mostly focused on the computer aspects of businesses.
Mm-hmm. You focus. I can understand. So you have to do a lot of data analytics,
It's
data
yeah,
science along that
yeah. Half of
end,
my subjects are computer based, and then the other half is business
business.
studies, economics, and accounts. Yeah.
Is it what you expected to study though? Like, were you aware of it?
Honestly, I picked this course with my eyes closed.
What?
I'm not even playing with you because when
Yeah.
I first applied to Russia,
Yeah.
I honestly did not think my grades were good enough to get here. I mean, I knew
Mm-hmm.
I had 48 points, but
Yeah.
I scored at Rainbow, and Rainbow had some pretty tough competition. So
Oh,
even though
yeah.
I did
Yeah.
have like 48 points and
Mm-hmm.
like most of my subjects were 89%, I
Mm.
was still like number 20. So it kind of reduced my
Ish.
confidence a bit. And I was
I
like, if
kind of
I'm 20
understand.
in
Yeah.
my school, how am I going to be, on top for this program?
Yeah.
So basically, when I was applying, I just applied for any course, basically, at
You're
any
just
school. And I
vibing
was just
with
there
it.
like, I was vibing with it. And it's like, if God wills, I got this. And
Yeah.
then I applied and I never looked twice.
Really?
And then, 2 months, yeah,
That's good.
two
That's
months down
good.
the line, I got the call. So
Hey, Shmona, that wait period. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Um, do you like it so far? Is it something you're interested in? Are you? I mean, of course, you said you picked it with just blindly, but after you started it, did you feel like, yeah, this is something I might get into?
actually, I've always been like really interested in like IT.
Mm-hmm.
So, and business studies. Business studies is my best
Oh
subject.
yeah.
So, so I don't know. It just combines the two things I love the most, and it just
Mm-hmm.
worked out. So
Yeah,
I'm very
yeah.
happy with it. Actually,
That's cool.
I'm very
So
happy with it.
we might see you working for these big IT brands one of these days, eh? Or even
Hopefully,
setting
one
up your
day
own. It'll be cool if you
in
set up your own.
Botswana,
Exactly.
in B-Dab,
Exactly. Which
not leaving that
brings us,
country.
it now brings us to exactly why I got you onto the show. So I was scrolling on Facebook mindlessly, like what I always do on summer holidays. And I found one of your posts, or well, not a post you posted, but something you shared. It was, let me just look for the thing. It was some guy who was talking about if you have time, just leave Botswana. If you have the resources, leave B Dub.
No, his. If I'm not paraphrasing, his exact
Yeah,
post was don't forget to leave Botswana after you're successful and financially
there we
stable.
go. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
that guy. And you know, I saw that status a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I ain't got time for this. I was too out of my mind. And then when I saw you shared it,
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, this hun is onto something. I think I'll put a snippet of the for those that are watching the episode, I'll put a snippet of the post on my stay on the video. And let me just hear your thoughts on that. Do you think,
Well, mhm.
let me put it this way. Do you think people, what do you think people think about life as an international student or just moving outside Botswana?
Well, it's kind of a complicated subject because,
Yeah.
I put this on us, honestly. We
Mm-hmm.
only share the good parts. Like on Instagram, you're always smiling.
Yeah.
Like when you post it on Facebook, it's just a good time. You just show how beautiful the city is. We don't
Mm.
really share our struggles. So it's hard for people to see that we do have struggles. But then on
Mm-hmm.
the other hand, people tend to be so ignorant. Like they believe that leaving Botswana
Yeah.
equals a happy life, a
Yeah.
happy, peaceful, calm life.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter where you're going. As long as you're not in Africa, it equals success and a happy life, which is a narrative that's unfair. And I can
Yeah.
even, like, not even just like random people, even my closest like family members, I could tell my sister, yo, can I'm depressed. Depression why that's always the chat.
Yeah. The only scheme, we're just living the soft life.
we they just don't understand, and they're like, when I count every single thing you could have possibly wanted. They don't understand. It gets so hard, especially
Yeah.
because when I got here, I was underage, and
Yeah.
I was very spoiled.
I feel you.
I
Yeah.
had everything done for me. I was cooked for, clean for, everything. So when I came here at such a young age, I
Mm.
had to basically become an adult all by myself.
Overnight.
And it was overnight, and it was
Yeah.
not easy at all. I did
Yeah.
not know who to follow, who could possibly advise me. And of course, I did have a girl in my school, and she was always there for me. But like, besides that, I had to basically carry myself and
Mm.
just basically rebrand every single thing I was not taught in my childhood, and just become a new person. And don't even get me started on the weather in Russia.
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even want to get into
And
that
that
one. And it
terrible
was,
weather is about to start in a month. Oh my goodness, I'm not ready for that.
and it's like I had the pressure of basically making my own food, cleaning my own house, basically just
Yeah.
doing everything for myself and still having to keep my academics high. It went from Kitsanako Rainbow and my mom did
Mm-hmm.
everything for me, and the only thing I had to focus on was my academics. Now I'm looking at my finances. I have to learn how to
Manage
properly
your money.
account for myself, manage my money, all those
Yeah.
things. And it takes such a toll on your mental health to just
Mm-hmm.
go from no responsibilities to 100 responsibilities. And those are the things that people don't see. And of course, it does come with a little bit of freedom, and you can be like, yeah, I can do ABC with my money. My mom wouldn't have allowed me. But
Yeah.
then once you do the ABC with your money, and then you miss your mother.
It's like,
Don't buy this,
don't
buy
buy
this.
this.
And it's
Like,
like,
it's happened to me so many times.
same. And nobody sees those sides of us. Nobody sees, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We make
Yeah.
mistakes. We make financial mistakes, and nobody sees the parts where we struggle. Not
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't have enough money, but because we are young adults and we
Because we
didn't use
just
our
didn't
finances
make the right
responsibly.
decisions. Yeah.
Exactly. And people don't understand that, like, studying abroad, you lose basically your family and your friends who were like your supervisors, per
Mm-hmm.
se,
Yeah.
people who were always there for you and had your best interest at heart. And you're on your own. And it can be very, very, very lonely and depressing, honestly.
Most of the time.
So
That's
it's not,
true. Yeah.
yeah, not a movie, as they say.
Life's not a movie. Let me
Not
ask
a
you this question.
movie.
At what point or when did you feel like you're at the most responsible moment of your life? Or when did you feel most responsible over yourself ever since you've been here?
Well, I can safely say that my least responsible point was the first time I got here
Oh my
because
days.
I was so big headed. I thought I knew everything. Nobody could tell me anything. You see,
Yeah.
I thought, sorry, in my head, the more I swipe, the more money comes into my account.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
it was
get
just
you.
reckless spending, buying things I don't need. And I also got in trouble in my hostel because I never had to make my own bed. So I didn't know how to
You
like do
didn't.
anything.
Ah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I got in trouble for like untidiness and stuff like that. So there I was very immature. I was young. I was below 18, so
Mm.
it was hard. But
Speaking of hostel, I kind of kicked myself out because I saw I was going to get kicked out. It's like the way it keeps
for
going.
what?
Bro, I had so many problems with the commandant. The commandant is like the matron, the dean of the hostel. And
Yeah.
at some point, it was like week in, week out, she'd come in storming into our room and just throwing a piece of quote unquote hate speech, not real hate speech, but man, it just felt like hate speech. And I was
I
like,
experienced the same
I,
thing in my hostel.
yeah.
Trust me.
And I was like, I'd bet I'm out. See you next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you were saying, continue.
Same thing happens to me. It's like they don't even realize the little things they're doing are like bothering us.
Yeah.
It's like I walk into my hostel and my hair looks different and it's like someone wants to touch it, or it's like there's
Ish.
just no respect for boundaries. And then
Yeah.
or someone like basically um I got in trouble the other time. Basically me and my roommate were both African.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got in trouble the other day for just being in the kitchen and we never leave it dirty. And the guy was basically saying, your kind of people are always creating a mess. And
That's
we're like,
exactly why I kicked myself out of hostel.
this is a public kitchen. So many people come into this kitchen. Why are you assuming that we're
Yeah.
the ones who leave a mess? Then he's like, your kind. I've dealt with your kind. And those are the kind of things you were saying.
Yeah.
And of course, when he says those things, he doesn't realize how much he's hurting our feelings. But it really bothered us.
Yeah, and how much he
It really,
just
really
doesn't
bothered
have
us.
the facts straight. I mean, you can't just come
Exactly.
and throw a wad of accusations at someone without actually knowing what really happened, who's behind all of this, who's responsible for it. Could be someone else. Heck, could be the Russian person. It could be your own daughter. I'm just
Yeah,
throwing out examples.
basically,
Yeah.
he said, me and were basically keeping the kitchen dirty. So our kitchen on our floor is locked, just cause I
Wow.
don't think it would be. Yeah,
So
I
wait,
don't think it would be locked if he looked different, but it is just
where do
cause he
you
said
do your stuff then? Like,
we have to
where do
go
you
to
cook and
another
stuff?
floor. We have to go to another floor, like take the elevator, go upstairs, stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
days.
Yeah, and he said he's not gonna open it no matter what, but it's not even allowed to keep it locked this long. So
Wow. Okay. You still haven't answered the
used to the
question.
shit.
Where
Mhm.
where did you feel most responsible?
Um, honestly, I would say right now,
Mm-hmm.
this is like the point where I don't even like spend recklessly anymore, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I prioritize what I need. I I feel like I'm a better overall person. I'm more mature than I was the first time I got here.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten down to earth and I've accepted the situation.
Yeah.
This is not like my motherland. So
Mm-hmm.
there are
Yeah.
gonna be situations where people will treat me differently or exclude me or segregate me. And it's not necessarily something I enjoy, but it's something I've comprehended and I'm better at handling situations. So
Embracing
I'm
it.
not, yeah, not really embracing, more like not letting it affect me as it would have like
I
two,
kind
three
of
years
see
ago.
that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like I'm most mature. I'm just happy with where I am mentally,
Mm-hmm.
you know, regardless of all the problems we have as international students. I'm happy right now. So
Yeah.
I feel
That's
mature.
it's good to see that you've come from a place of complete chaos. Let's say I remember the day
Yeah.
we came here, like down to the T, 21st of October 2019. 21st October 2019. And from that day up until now, that it's good to see that progression, that contrast into how you felt like you're in a chaotic state when you first came to Russia, and how you feel now. You feel like not everything is in control, of course, but you could make proper decisions and you could still have some sort of peace of mind. You know, it could be stuff like, hey, I'm drinking water. It could be stuff like, I'm actually waking up. I actually might attend class, for the sake of
Big
attending
might.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As compared to, I know a lot of us when we first came in Pathfak, hey, dog, just the thought of going to class to hear someone speak, to try and teach you a language in that very same language, just felt hysterical. And
Yeah,
you start off the day and you felt like you're catching an L just from the get-go. And
that's true.
it's good to see that progress. And man, I think also people at home need to understand that life is, it's not by chance, that it's not by choice for the most part. Well, it is, but it's not really by choice that we're learning in whatever language you're learning in. Heck,
Yeah, we didn't choose this life for ourselves.
we
It's
didn't, yeah,
basically,
we didn't choose
it
live.
chose us.
It chose us. We didn't really choose living. I mean,
If we had a choice, we'd be studying in English. So.
no cap, no cap, no
Yeah.
cap. And what I also wanted to ask was, do you think just by virtue of leaving Botswana borders, you're exposing yourself to a lot of mental health threats? Depression, anxiety, maybe loneliness. I know that's the biggest one.
Well, I've never, per se, growing up, I've never felt alone.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in points where I felt like I needed um like therapy or anything. Well, of course, excluding the point where my dad passed. But
Mm-hmm.
besides that, I've never felt as lonely as I have coming here, per se.
Yeah.
It's like, especially during quarantine, that's where my thoughts just, there was nothing positive in there. Hey, it was just,
Oh.
it was just rain,
Oh
nothing,
my days, quarantine.
nothing positive.
Some, when I look back at people who post about, quarantine was a time to learn, quarantine was a time to be with yourself, embrace the world, embrace silence, embrace slowness. I'm like, my guy. Some of us,
Quarantine was just,
some of us
it was
spent,
the point where,
sleepless nights wondering,
oh, and
what's life?
one of my friends actually said this. It's actually a mutual friend between us, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said basically, first time, because we're all together, we're just chilling as like a group.
Yeah.
And then he said, first time he got to Russia, his thoughts when he opened the window were, wow, this city is so beautiful. Wow, these lights are so beautiful.
Yeah.
But now, when he opens the window, his first thought is, if I jump, will I die? And everyone was like, dude, I thought I was the only one. And we've normalized this suicidal thought so much that it was
Yeah.
we've just
Yeah.
normalized thinking so negatively,
Dark thoughts.
because I don't know if it's the homesickness or it's just the environment in general, but it really takes a toll on your mental health.
Yeah. Let's try and unpack that a bit. What could be the real issue? Like, why is it that when we come here, it just feels like we're in a dark closet, not even a dark closet, heck, we're in a dark tunnel with no air, and you just want to, I don't know, break free, something like that.
Well, for
Mm-hmm.
me personally, I don't know about you, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm my happiest in summer. I'm not
Yeah.
like super happy, but I'm my happiest in summer. So I would say number one is probably the pressure from school,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not minor pressure. It's extreme. It's
Yeah.
daily homework. It's daily work. It's tests in a language you don't speak. It's your classmates treating you differently because you may not understand as well as them.
Yeah.
It's all those things combined together um that just make you feel the certain way weight on your shoulders that you cannot lift off. Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had this one teacher. She was a maths teacher basically, and I really could not understand her at some point.
Why are
I
maths teachers the
tried.
most difficult ones?
They are so difficult, and I was trying my hardest, and I could not
Yeah.
understand her.
Mm.
And then she basically said, like, if you don't understand why you even here, why don't you just go back to your country
Hey.
where you belong? You don't belong here. It was stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I swear I didn't go to school for the next week. I was just defeated. Because you know when you're trying your hardest and someone basically tells you you're still not good
Like,
enough.
why are you here, my G?
Dang, I was defeated.
Like,
What about you?
just to make light of a moment, I don't know if you know this meme of this other Nigerian guys. You are worthless. You're not going to make it. I don't know if you know it.
No, I don't. But
um,
what?
yeah, I'll look for it. I'll send it to you. I know one of us has it in Russia. I've seen it from someone's status, and I laughed too hard. But yeah, for me, I think my darkest moment, or yeah, Pathfinder guys. Yo. My first year was the best.
Fuck.
Yo. Just waking up and hearing something that's not English. Oh my days. Oh my days.
I don't
Ah,
like how relatable that is.
oh my
But I loved But Fuck. I don't want to lie to you.
no.
Before quarantine, I loved it.
Yeah, of course, before anything before quarantine was late, like life actually felt
Yeah.
moving. For me, it wasn't life and pathway. It was the lessons themselves. Like school itself was the problem, as I think as it should be. But man, it just felt like it took a new level of problem. Like the definition of problem had been redefined to something that was similar to slavery. That's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
And
If But Fuck
mhm,
felt like that, how did transitioning to first year feel?
first year was okay. I'll get hey first year. Okay, so for me, I know the mistake I made in first year. If you guys remember, I came to Moscow on the last weekend of the holiday, and the,
Mm-hmm. Remember that?
and the
Mm-hmm.
following Monday was school. Like I remember, I was in Moscow and I was with Tobo and Bolerato and the guys, and the first thing Tobo said when he woke up that morning was like, "Sis, tomorrow we're going to school," and the mood just changed.
Sounds like something Papa would say.
The mood, that
Yeah.
the whole mood in the house just changed. The following day, and for me, it was not only we're going to school. It's tomorrow we're going to school. I'm still in Moscow. I'm 700 Ks from Kursk. What am I doing with my life? And I actually wanted to bunk that first week of school because I just wasn't mentally ready. That's the
Yeah.
mistake I made, disappearing from Kursk before school started. And then I dragged myself onto the train and went back. I came back home. I was so deadbeat tired. The following day, when school started, I was half awake. So when teachers were speaking, I was half dead. The starters
At
tried
least you
tell
made
me.
it.
The starters is like, yo, man, these are your subjects for the year. This is what you're gonna do. Lace me your number, all those details. I was like, yo, bro, I can hear you, but I can't hear you. And but yeah, that's one thing. One piece of advice I might tell someone who's listening is you have to be mentally and physically ready at least 2 days before school starts. Like mentally
Yeah.
you should be at the place. You basically should be at school before school starts. By school I mean in your city or whatever. And
And
just
basically, one thing that I always do, it's something I've always done since I was like a
yeah,
kid. And I know it's not something I need to do now, but it puts me in the mood of school. Like,
yeah,
you know how when you were younger, it's like Noya Pep when you'd buy the back to school thing. I
exactly,
do that every time I'm
exactly,
starting after a holiday. You know, get new books, new pencils. But I want to put my mind in that mindset that okay, like
exactly.
you're looking forward to something. So I know I don't need to per se because I only need
Mhm.
basically 2, 3 books, but I do make an effort to like buy new books and new pencils, new pens. I just, put myself in the mood. And it's something that works for me, but just
Yeah.
figure out what motivates you
That actually works for
to want to go
me.
to school.
Actually, I had to bank a lesson to do that last year. So once I did that, I bought a book, I bought a couple of pens, some stationery, some rulers, all that stuff, some files.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just, just get into the mood of school. After that, like that was like week 2 into school, week 3 into school. Yeah, I felt like, yeah, I'm doing something with my life. It's
You
not much,
see?
but it's honest work. That's how it felt.
Exactly.
And yeah, that 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 yeah, year 1 was not bad actually. Like overall, I think I don't mind what had happened in year 1. Yeah, there were a lot of hiccups, yeah, Rian, like you now have to switch from understanding your pathwork teachers who are teaching you slowly but surely to now
Exactly.
lecturers who are here to teach you university level knowledge, and they're not
And
here
Corey, you
to,
live a whole, yeah.
those
You leave a
teachers,
whole lecture
yeah,
room learning 3 words.
exactly. Like the teacher's not here to teach you pedagogy or vocabulary. That teacher is here
Mm-mm.
to teach, manega. And if you're not listening, I'm so
Sounds like a
sorry.
personal problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was year 1, and that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. And let me ask you this question. Yeah, well, we're about to start year 2. You're finishing in 4th year, right? Your final year is 4th year.
Yes.
There's about 3 years left. And what does life look like? No, let me not say what does life look like. The prospects of going to Botswana, is it something you're waiting for? You're looking out to do, or is it more based on the current socioeconomic status back at home?
Well, I feel like personally for me, how I see it is that Botswana is not educating us
Mm,
and sending us to other countries, providing us with financial, medical, everything aid for us to, you know, go work for a high end country or like a first world country.
mm-hmm.
It's not what they're doing. So from my understanding is that I've been sent here to provide a service to my country. I'm not here to try and go to another first world country or perhaps stay in Russia and improve this country because it's not my place, it's not my legacy.
Yeah,
So my biggest goal and see what I can do, whether it's working for another business, starting my own,
yeah,
just improve my own country and provide the service to Botswana as a Motswana and just one day feel like I made a difference in my country.
yeah,
So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. I'm not, it's just taking me back to this Instagram post where it's like, because it's something that a lot of Africans do, and it's the reason why Africa is way behind.
mm-hmm.
We basically, what we do, we drain the educational services from our country.
Yeah.
And once we're
Brain
done with
drain.
them, exactly, once we're done with them, we just leave it and just
Mm-hmm.
go to a first world country and basically improve a country that's already far
Improving.
beyond everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just leave our own country to the dust. And it's just not something I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Botswana has always been my dream, my goal, my everything. So it has my heart. So
I honestly do understand,
yeah.
and that's what's actually on my mind as well. Something that always comes into my mind is maybe I'm being too harsh on the people that say they want to leave bots. Maybe I don't understand them. So sometimes I try put them in my I try put myself into their shoes and see maybe the thought process behind all of this, see where they're coming from. And I notice, most people back at home are unemployed. Most people back at home, whatever skill they learned in university, it could be marketing, it could be even engineers right now, it could be chemical engineering or mechanical, whatever engineering, or something as specialized as yours, like business informatics. It's, what can I say? Companies are
There's no
really,
market.
there's no
Yeah.
market. It's not that there's no market, but it's almost as if people just don't want to hire people. And it's almost as if people don't know, like companies are not, they don't know what they want, but they want
That's
someone,
true.
but they're not gonna hire a fresh university graduate. It's something
Yeah.
complicated. What I've seen at the workplace back at home is people who are working complain that there's not enough people at the workplace. And then people at home who are not working complain that there's not enough jobs. So it's kind of weird. It's like a paradox. And some people feel like if they leave the country, that would solve, that problem. They could get food, they could get a stable salary, and quote unquote, what most people say is I'll have enough money to send money back at home. Well, to be honest, that's not really what it is in practice. But yeah, that's what a lot of people say. And what when that comes to your mind, what do you think of? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like I never really thought of it like that,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. I never really looked at it from a different perspective. And it's always just been to me, people are abandoning Botswana.
Yeah.
But when you put it like that, it's like, plus, it's no secret that you're more likely to get paid a higher amount of money or like a
Yeah.
larger amount of money in a first world country than you are
Yeah.
perhaps back home. So, speaking from a financial point of view, it does sound like a logical idea, especially if
Mm-hmm.
maybe you've been trying and you're unable to find a job in your own country. But then again, it's just it's hard for me to comprehend the idea of our country developing slower than it could
Yeah.
because people take and don't want to give back.
Yeah, that's true.
Perhaps maybe someone is offered a job and they say no, in the UK or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just you basically absorbed all of Botswana's resources. Perhaps you graduate and then you decide,
I'm
Botswana's
out.
not for me. I'm out. I got what I needed. I'm
Yeah.
out. So it's complicated in that sense, but I would really prefer, per se, for a lot of graduates to at least try to find jobs in Botswana before,
Yeah.
or it shouldn't be like a certain thing. Like you've made up your mind, you're not even gonna try for the country, you're not even gonna try to look for a job because
Yeah.
honestly, salary wise, Botswana is one of the best in Africa. Like
No cap.
they really pay employees, especially places like Botswana, there by CBD. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of well-paying jobs there. So it's better to at least try to look for one. And that's when you can start looking at your other options. From the time you're 14, you've already decided, I'm not even going to try for this country. I'm
I'm
here
out.
for education. I'm done.
Yeah.
So it just try, give Botswana the benefit of the
Give it
doubt
a
before
shot.
you step out. Yeah,
Um,
basically it.
and I agree with that. That's very true. You can't just what I'm seeing nowadays is that people just want to like get they want to get education from bots because education in Botswana is free, and if you're smarter, maybe you get your 6A stars, you go study at like a top institution, and that's it. You leave Botswana, maybe you renounce your citizenship, become a Canadian or something of that nature, and that's it. That's all. And what comes into my mind is, do you think we have a problem, we have a mindset problem back at home, in the sense that, all like you mentioned it, all we want to do is take, but we really don't see the essence of giving. We And because of that take mentality, what we want is, we want food, of course we want shelter, but we want to be educated, we want someone to pay our bills, we want to get money, and once we have that, I don't care about anyone else's problems. And if where I am doesn't solve those problems, I'm sorry, I'm going to abandon that place and leave it, instead of having a sense of purpose of, I'm here in Botswana, this is home, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure this is the best place to live, not just for myself, not just for my children, but for anyone who lives in Botswana. Could it be that problem? I think that's the problem.
Well, for me, I just feel like Botswana tend to think of the smaller picture.
Mm-hmm.
They look at what's best for me right now.
Yeah.
It's never really what's best for my family, what's best for my grandchildren, or what's best for my country.
Yeah.
It's just, it's always something that's personal to them. And it's
Mm.
like, there's this overgrowing mentality in Botswana that if you go to another country,
Yeah.
automatically all your problems disappear.
Yeah.
They don't comprehend that, wait, maybe the problems I'm leaving behind here are things I'm gonna face in another country. What if ke sa bone tiro?
People
What
don't
if
think about that, eh?
people don't think about that? What if I encounter problems I've never had here? For
Yeah.
instance, racism.
Which is quite
What if
common.
exactly they don't think of the ups and downs? They just see the other side, the other parts of the world as an up. There's just
Mm-hmm.
no downs to them.
Mm.
So it needs to be seen as what I'm leaving in Botswana, what I think I'm running away from is probably a blessing in disguise.
Mm-hmm.
And because Botswana are so blessed.
Man.
Botswana is one of the most fortunate countries I have seen, and it's so giving. It cares for its people to the best of its ability, though it's had so many problems. I appreciate Botswana for everything they've done,
Yeah.
because when you look at like our neighboring countries and the different things that they go through that we don't experience, we just
Yeah.
see on the TV. It's like, don't you just sit at home and have a sense of comfort that this is not you. Your country is doing its best to provide you free healthcare, free school, free everything.
Yeah.
So it's just important to appreciate them. So I feel like people need to not look at leaving Botswana as an escape, and more of like as a decision that could also have its own consequences as well. And
That's
those
true.
consequences are not necessarily going to be good. So
Mm.
appreciate what you have, because if you don't, when you lose it, is when, like it might be too late. You might have already spent 15 years in another country and it's too late.
You feel like
So just
I've made the worst decision of my life.
exactly. And by
Yeah.
then, maybe you're already married in a different continent. So you can't go back.
I feel you.
So yeah.
Would you be open to marrying outside Botswana though? Like, is it something that has crossed your mind?
Well, I don't mean to spill the tea, but my boyfriend is not a Motswana.
Ah, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
That's as far as I'm going, but he's not
okay.
a Motswana, so yeah.
Nah, I
Very
feel you.
open.
Very open,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess for you, it's more of who the person is, not where he's from.
It's never really been about where the person is from.
Yeah,
I just care about personalities. It's
yeah.
not, I'm not going to say I'm not going to marry someone from India for what, but it kind of feels like racism to me. It's not something I do.
Kind of is, but yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah. So very open. What about
Yeah.
you?
Me. Okay, it's not that I don't want to marry people from outside, but I like Botswana, man. So I'm a happy guy with a happy Botswana girlfriend and want to keep
Cheers
it
to
that
that.
way.
Yeah. Cheers
No
to that.
stress, no stress, no problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't see why to I just don't see why to look elsewhere.
Oh. Eh, how wala batla go movela Botswana yan?
Kasi
Is this why we're on
piti.
the podcast?
Kasi piti.
Fast,
But
I'll graduate ako eh, no.
exactly, exactly. And just on that, just moving back to bots, maybe we've been talking about people from back at home, and yeah, it's time maybe to talk about people who are in the diaspora. I was, well, I do understand that a lot of us are here because we see nice opportunities. They're great opportunities. I'm not gonna lie. Just the fact that there's cheap, fast Wi-Fi, man, that just makes half of the
Dude,
makes the task even better. But while here, what I always tell myself is I'm here to see what other people are doing and how I can make it work, or how I can do it better back at home. I want to make free fast Wi-Fi accessible, or cheap fast Wi-Fi accessible back at home. I want to see how we
that is
can,
brilliant.
yeah, I want to see how I can order a taxi without looking for a taxi guy's number from a friend on WhatsApp back at home.
Thank you. Yeah.
I want to see how I can check where Mogoditsani Route 6 is passing if I'm on
Without
the bus
asking
stop.
Ragon Nana,
Exactly.
writing.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
see, all that stuff. And
Mm.
I don't want to come to Moscow. I don't want to come to Russia to experience that. No, I want to see it happening at a place I call home. And it should be a mindset we should all be having, seeing how we can do something, even if it's not the same thing other countries are doing, but see how we can solve our problems and make them better back at home and make the situation better back at home. And from what I've seen from people that solve problems, is most of them were really never out to do it to make millions or to make money or to live the soft life, or a lot of reasons why Botswana want to move out of the country in the first place. Most people were doing it because they see the benefit of helping people. The money part kind of solves itself. The money part, it just solves itself. Look at this guy, Elon Musk. I don't know if you know about him, but that guy has done so many crazy things in his life. He made PayPal. The I think you might have used PayPal maybe once or twice.
I've never used it,
You've
but
never used it.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically PayPal was in the era of credit cards. PayPal was like Sberbank Perevod. And it just made sending money across borders easier. And that was his task, to make sending money easier. He didn't want people's money. He wanted people to send each other their money in an easier manner. And things just he got the money he deserved for that, because it solved a problem. And that's the kind of mindset I think is important back at home. The money, the care, the soft life, quote unquote, takes care of itself. Somehow it always does. Somehow people always will find a way to appreciate what you're doing, man. Yeah.
Wow. That is a beautiful mentality.
Yeah.
And it actually gets me thinking. Like, you see, when you were talking, the thing that was on my mind is, ish, Maranka simula toroika ko Botswana.
Exactly.
That's the
Hey,
only thing that has been on my mind. I was like,
exactly. No, but
see, now
kinda
you have me thinking.
it doesn't have to be like, you see, the troika could be you see that taxi, that combi seat, like how it's on the combi, the seat just behind, like the seat on
Yeah,
the
Konde.
hey, that one, yeah. You
Eh.
can put it there. He hops in, or the conda holds the troika machine, and
Yeah.
just it's simple things. And because it's a troika, it can be used for buses, can be used for taxis, it can be used for combis, because it's a troika.
That would be so brilliant.
Yeah, so keep thinking big. You're in this business informatics world. It's something that could work.
I am.
Yeah. And
Wow.
in closing, what would you like to say to Botswana back at home?
Oh, Botswana. My fellow Botswana. I just need you all to appreciate your country. Just
Mhm.
love it, respect it, protect it, and don't litter.
Don't litter.
Because don't litter because Botswana is
Yeah, I
one
agree
of
with that.
the fastest developing countries in the world. And the number of times I have
Mm.
talked to other Africans here, especially, and I
Yeah,
hear their struggles and their problems, and there's things I have never even dreamed of experiencing in
yeah,
Botswana. They're just things I hear about. Even Russians, there's a problem of like homelessness, all those kind of things.
big problem
So
with
it's
that.
important to appreciate what you have and
Hmm.
protect it, and just let's just work towards developing Botswana Tlabatson
Yeah, I know people
Yeah,
who would
so.
kill to be in Botswana, man. Like they keep on asking me,
Exactly.
yo, man, how can I move towards, what's like, what business opportunities are there? And I'm like, man, the people who want to be in my position, and I know people who
So
don't want to be
many.
in my position. And I'm like, wow, it's it's so funny.
Yeah. It's just there's so many people who just because they see because Batswana retela a bit, like our government takes care of us well.
Quite
So there's
well,
so
in
many
fact.
people who have told me I would kill Motswana. So it's important to appreciate that though the government is struggling right now,
Yeah.
they have never let us down as Botswana. They are always there for us at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So just let's respect, our government. Let's respect their efforts and just.
Yeah.
It was a pandemic. We're gonna struggle, but just look forward to better days and just try to create those better days.
Yeah. We create our own better days yeah, you're
Exactly.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Because that's what I replied to someone on Facebook. They were like, I can't stay in a country that has a very horrible government. And I was sitting there like, do Botswana know that we vote for the government? Like,
Exactly.
is that unclear? Is it unclear?
Yeah, that's the thing. People forget why democratic nation. I mean, I was listening to something by Festus Morai yesterday. Yesterday was his birthday, so a lot of videos of him are trending. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, for Botswana to be sort of like recognized as a democracy, the BDP has to be voted out. And for that, like I'm summarizing all that he's saying. And for that to happen, we are the ones that can vote him out.
Exactly.
And of course, if we feel something is
Exactly.
sus, like maybe votes were rigged or something, people are people, man. People always find a way to turn around. Like that's why revolutions happen. We've heard of so
The
many
truth always
revolutions.
comes out.
Yeah, the truth
Yeah.
always comes out. Red October, the fall of the Soviet Union, it's a result of people no longer wanting a system. And we're
Yeah.
in charge of how a system works. People don't actually notice that. Of course, there are people in charge of the system, but we are in charge of how the system works. If we don't want it and we feel it's not working for us, we have the power to change that.
That's the example I gave because when someone replied to me talking about the whole, I don't like the government. I gave an example of like America. America
America.
didn't appreciate how, Trump may have been running the country.
Baba Trump.
And
Yeah,
and
no,
they
I
came
agree.
together. And I remember before the voting polls for America, every single post I'd scroll on my Instagram would be
Mm-hmm.
encouraging people to vote. All the
Exactly.
celebrities, everybody was encouraging people. It was like, whether you're 18, 17, we need your voice to be heard.
Just
Please
vote.
come and vote. Just vote.
And
And it made a huge
yeah,
difference. And they had the highest number of votes they've ever had since the voting has started in America.
yeah.
So as Botswana, we have the ability to make a
We
difference.
have the same control. And the same thing actually happened in Zambia last week. Zambia,
Really?
yeah, I've been following Zambian news because I now have a sufficient amount of Zambian friends. So prior to the elections, a lot of people were telling me, man, we're not really happy with this government, and elections are about to happen in August, and we want this government out. And they delivered. The guy's out. They removed the current president, and they voted in a new president from the opposition party. And it's not every day you hear about that in Africa, but
Exactly.
it
Yes.
shows that if a country
It's
really is a
possible.
democracy, you can see that it will happen.
It's possible.
It's possible, and it's the same message I
Exactly.
can tell to Botswana, man. We're in charge of to an extent, we're in charge of our own destiny, and you have to make the right choices that put you in a place where you'd be happy and you feel purposeful, and you're delivering something important to people.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with those words, I guess we're done with the show. That was a quick. It felt faster than I actually thought I mean, it was close to an hour, but it felt like a 5-minute conversation. I
Yeah, it
don't know
felt
about
like
you.
15 minutes at most. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
An hour.
Yeah, it's
Really?
close to an
Okay.
hour. It's been close to an hour. And yeah, folks,
Yeah.
don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, ask questions, dude, engage. This would be an interesting topic to talk about. And I'll hear from you guys in the next episode. Look after yourselves. Do the things that need to be done to keep you where you need to be. With those words, Aisha and I, the soul engineer, are out. Bye bye.